Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Living the Sweet Life. I'm your host, TJ Sweet, and on this podcast, we're going to be talking about different ways that can help you live with intention, reshape your mindset, and look at the world through a grateful lens. So first of all, thank you for spending some time this week, as we do every week on Mindset Monday, for spending some time listening to these podcasts, developing new habits of personal growth. We all need some sort of reminder to interrupt our patterns throughout the day. And so especially to win the day, winning Mondays, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you get notifications when these episodes come out, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or iTunes or any other platform you may be enjoying these. So as we get going, this week is important because the weeks go by. I don't know about you, but it feels like the year has already gone by really fast. And the time that goes by, if we don't pay attention, it keeps moving at the same speed. And so sometimes we can feel like the days go by fast, or maybe a month goes by fast, and then we turn around and look and it's a year later. But the topic today is about how time reveals what matters the most to us. And sometimes we need to interrupt our patterns to recognize that, are we spending time the way that we want to be spending it? Or are we spending it just to get through a day? Are we wishing days away? So if you find yourself on a Tuesday already looking forward to Friday, we're probably not going to create a bunch of memories or moments or do things with intention on Wednesday, Thursday until Friday. And this is common. This is natural. This is kind of who we are as people. We have moments in our lives that we look forward to, not necessarily creating moments, but moments maybe more that we just look forward to instead of cherish in the moment. So I'm going to be walking through kind of a little bit, some different ways to think about time and to kind of really kind of call it out, really kind of start to own the value of time. It's the most finite resource we have. And so if you stop and think about the value of time, every second that goes by, like that second that just went by, we don't get back. So being intentional about how you spend your time is a choice you get to make. And putting it in perspective as well, there's 86,400 seconds in a day. Seems like a lot, but do you remember every moment from yesterday? Do you remember minutes or hours from yesterday? Most of us don't, but we do have the choice to spend every minute, spend every moment in a headspace or with the people that we actually choose to spend that time with. And so there's also an important aspect to think about when you have 86,400 seconds in a day is not letting 1 minute of your day ruin the other time, right? That's a lot of seconds, right? So thinking about 86,300 seconds in a day shouldn't be ruined by 1 60-second moment of your day. So really kind of stop and think about the vastness that we have in a day, because we often underestimate what we can do in a day because we're so focused on what we're trying to do yesterday and what we're trying to do tomorrow. So the value of time is really just to kind of a self-awareness and think about two things. Self-reflection for me as well. We are as young as we're ever going to be right now. That's an important topic to think about because it's just hopefully inspires you to not waste any time, not look for someday on your calendar. I talk to a lot of people and I say, when are you going to do this? And they say someday. And there's this great kind of quote and people talk about it all the time. I've looked at a lot of calendars in my life and someday has never been on there. So really actually make some plans because your life is going to go by fast. It can go by fast. And people always say time flies when you're having fun. And that's because we're focused on being present in the moment, so time can go by fast. And there are those people in our lives that we could spend an hour talking to, and it feels like moments. That's the value of time. Time's going to go by anyway, but how we choose to spend it is up to us. Now, the second thing, when you're kind of really trying to get better about using your time better, is thinking about the life lessons that you've had in your life. Because oftentimes the sense of progress of new chapters in our lives, it can really be supported with understanding life lessons. But that really goes back to certain moments of time that have shaped us. And thinking about your milestones. What are certain things in your life that you remember specifically? Was it a certain age that you turned? Was it a certain achievement that you accomplished? Whatever it may be, doing a self-reflection and thinking about the life lessons you've learned so that then you can use those life lessons that you've had in your life to make different choices and make better choices that align with who you are and where you want to be. Now, oftentimes we give more credit to just chance than we should. There's a lot of times where if we actually dedicate specific energy and intention to accomplishing something by a certain amount of time, we're able to do it. If we just say in generality, we want to, like one of the things I hear a lot is, I want to run a 5K. Well, 3 years go by and people still haven't run the 5K. But the real pressure, the real, commitment comes from saying, I want to run a 5K this year. That feels different because we associated time to it as opposed to just a want. What do you want and when do you want to do it? But it's important to recognize, to put in habits. You can't just say you want to do something by a certain amount of time. You have to dedicate time every day to accomplishing that. But recognizing that you can do this if you associate more time to things instead of just thinking about what you want. And really, the idea, we've talked about this many times, but when you have gratitude and you feel grateful in a moment, you create memories. That's a moment in time that you'll always remember. You don't ever have to worry about forgetting it. And so thinking about how you really are present in the moment will help you have more life lessons that you can then use to move forward instead of having to learn that same lesson over and over again. The important thing to think about too, like we talked about through time revealing what matters the most, we have to slow down and think about and prioritize what matters the most to us. And oftentimes that comes with setting boundaries. We don't have enough time to do everything for everybody all the time, every day. So we have to set some boundaries, unless we're just going to rely on hope as a strategy so that our day and every minute, every hour of our day goes as planned. That's not a successful strategy because rarely does that actually happen. So setting some boundaries to protect some time for you, for the people that you love, for the people you're the most grateful for, maybe even protecting time for what brings you joy. Because if not, other things are going to fill the time. Every minute of every day is going to be filled with something. Sometimes it's just, aimless searching on or scrolling on social media. But if that's the way that you're going to spend time, then just know that it is preventing you either from doing something that brings you joy. But if social media brings you joy, then do that because it brings you joy, not because you're just wasting time because you have nothing else to do. And I know some of this can feel heavy in the sense of, measuring exactly how you spend every minute of every day, but every once in a while, it's a good reflection. And there's apps for that. There's even an app on your phone that lets you know how much time you've been spending in each app. And so maybe every month you look at that and see if that's something that you want to change or you want to improve. Another great way to really kind of prioritize what matters the most is dedicate time to the people that you have in your life, to the relationships that you have. Because I can promise you, 20 years from now, we're not going to look back and think about all the tasks we needed to do. We're going to slow down and think about the relationships that we had, the time we spent with the people that we have. We don't have to lose people in order to appreciate time with them. We can be present in the moment. And so spending time with the people that you love and you're the most grateful for, really, that's probably the best use of our time together, is really investing and being present with those people. Now, as I talk about these different things, every bit of this may hit you a little differently. And so I want to kind of give you a call to action, if you will, something to do instead of just feel like you don't have enough time, because I'm sure most of you are listening and probably thinking that'd be great if I had more time. Well, the beauty of time is we all get 24 hours. We all get the same amount of time. How we use it is up to us. And so wishing that you had more time is not realistic, but planning on using your time better, that is something that can help you maybe spend more time with people you're grateful for, maybe help you build a business, maybe improve a relationship, maybe get in a different physical fitness shape, whatever it is. So as we kind of wrap up here, I just want to kind of simply say, making a priorities list is the first step to really valuing your time. Saying no to something that isn't on your priority list will be the first thing that will feel uncomfortable, but it'll be the most energy-giving thing for you in your life. So prioritize who and what is the most important thing to you. And then secondly, this is the part that gets a little uncomfortable. Actually think about in a week's time or in a day's time, however you can do this to make it something meaningful for you. Really write down every minute of the day, or at least reflect on how much time you spent doing certain things. Oftentimes when I work with clients and they say they don't have 10 minutes to do a gratitude practice, I ask them to do this. It's kind of like a time audit. And we look at their day. We look at how much time they spent doing certain things. And then we try to find ways to make it work. So my goal with these episodes and these topics is never really to force something into an environment that it's not really realistic or sustainable. And so, but this is why this topic is so important, is because this is the best and first way for us to buy back time, is to take control more of our day and what we're doing, and be willing to say no to certain things that don't actually add value to what we want. And so as you identify what you want in your life, start to say no to everything that isn't supporting that. Time always shows us what's the most important. Who we give our time to is a great way to think about who and what is the most important to you in your life. So hopefully this episode kind of nudges you to really think about how you're using time. Instead of hoping that you have more time, you actually start to take control of the time that you do get to have in your life. And if you haven't subscribed yet, take a moment to do that. Again, so these episodes kind of come to you every week, every Mindset Monday, and it really does help you stay present in the moment and maybe stay more engaged every day instead of just on Mondays and just for wishing for the weekends. And I'll remind you, like I do with every other episode, to really share these episodes with people in your life that you love. That one of the best ways that we can really kind of share some of the knowledge that we have is by showing other people what we've learned and how it's made an impact in your life, because you probably inspire more people than you're giving yourself credit for. And I'll wrap up like I do every episode by reminding you that you always have the power and the choice to reshape your mindset, live with intention, and look at the world through a grateful lens. Until the next episode, never stop.